Hi everyone, thank you for watching today's video and Merry Christmas! Amid all of the Christmas rehearsals and Christmas shopping and everything that comes along with the holidays, I wanted to take the time to put this video together where I share 3 traditional Christmas carols with you and how to play them on the cello if you're a beginner student. So if you're an intermediate student, you probably won't need any help with these. They're very, very simple. Also, forgive my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather today, but I really wanted to get this done. Before we start, this video is sponsored by TomPlay. TomPlay is an online platform and app that features interactive sheet music. They have a huge library that you can choose from. They feature these gorgeous backing tracks that you can play along with so that you hear the accompaniment as you go. They have incredible tools, annotation tools, metronome, looping function, so many great things, and I recommend that my private cello students use this app, and I think that it could definitely benefit you as well. So links are in the video description below. Let's get started. Let's go over the string names. The string all the way to your left is A, here's D, here's G, and here's C. And by the way, I am playing on a student cello, just so that you can hear that maybe student cellos are a little bit harder to get to sound good, you know, like this one has a couple of wolf tones in it, so it's a little bit tricky to play. And I'm assuming that probably most of you also are playing on a student cello. If it has a couple of cracks, maybe it's going out of tune quickly, it's okay. It's fine, and you can do a lot. You can make beautiful music no matter what level of instrument you're playing on. All right, so now that we went over our string names, let's briefly talk about first position. So a whole step up from your open string, if we put finger 1 there, that automatically places us into first position. So here's A, a whole step above A is B. Hear how it goes up by a step? That's where we put our finger 1. This is first position. Now a half step, it's half of a whole step. And the rest of our fingers fall each a half step apart. So being in C major for this first carol, we don't have any crazy extensions. We're not reaching back anywhere with our hand. We just put our hand in first position. All of our fingers are evenly spaced and you're good to go. Now I say that this first carol is in C major, and the way that you can find that out for yourself is you look at the very beginning to the left, and if you don't see any sharp signs or flat signs, that means you're either in A minor or in C major because they share the same key signature. Now, we also want to check our time signature. This is in 3/4, which means that the quarter note gets the beat, and there are 3 quarter notes, or the equivalent to, in value, 3 quarter notes in every single measure. Now these first 2 notes in this piece, these are pickups, so it's not a full measure at the beginning. We're just playing the 3rd beat into our first measure. Now let's look at the very first note. Our first note is E. E is a whole step above D, which means if this is open D, our starting note is here, E. Here's our first note, E, finger 1. Open D right after that. As you can see, the music goes down. The music goes down again. This is C, finger 4. Now we're just gonna go over the notes first, and then we'll talk about the rhythm. So let's get the notes first. So E, D, C. So as you can see, the music now goes up. So now we're going to play open D, E, finger 1, F, finger 2, and that's a wolf tone, as you can hear. And then finger 4, G. All right, so let's talk about the rhythm of just those first, 7 notes. The first 7 notes in terms of the rhythm. So 1, 2, 3, te, 1, te, 3, te, 1. I'm going to play it for you. You can hear it, and then perhaps pause the video and play it by ear. Yeah. All right, moving on. These are the last 2 notes of measure 2. We have open A, which is whenever the note head is on that top line of the staff. Going up another step, here's B, finger 1, finger 2 on C, going back down to B, open A, going over finger 4, G on the D string. We're just going to play those same notes over again. Now we're on measure 6. We're going to go back to A, B, finger 1, C, finger 2, 4 on D, the note G, but it's on the D string, F, finger 2, E, finger 1. The rhythm is pretty straightforward, starting from the last two notes of measure 2. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So measures 5 through 7 are very simple. You're just playing quarter notes, all evenly spaced. 1, 2, 3. Not a big deal. All right, let's play through this slowly together from the beginning all the way through to the downbeat of measure 8. Just like that. It would probably be a good idea to pause the video, maybe back it up a little bit and play through that several times just so you get it in your ear. Now, the nice thing about this is that the next big phrase, so measure 8 through the downbeat of measure 16, it's the exact same thing, the very same melody, no changes at all. So since you already know how to play that, let's go on and start from the last two notes of measure 16. It's going to start exactly how the carol started at the very beginning, but the change happens in measure 18, the last two notes. Before, the melody goes like this. It goes up to A, but here in measure 18, C instead of open A. Like that. So let's start right on measure 18. Now finger 1 on B. This is where we briefly leave first position. So we're going to shift up and put finger 1 on C natural. Extend finger 2. I lied. There is one extension in this. Finger 2 on D. So this is a whole step apart. Extended position means that we put a whole step between finger 1 and finger 2. So 1 goes on C natural, 2 goes on D. And then 4 goes on E. And if you're new to second position, especially extended second position, just have fun with these three notes, play around with them so that you can kind of get used to that spacing between these three fingers. All right, so now we're in measure 20. 4 is on E, then 2 on D. Let's back up to 18 and just play those three measures. Just like that. Let's move on. This is measure 21. C, finger 2. 1 on B. Open A. 4 on G. Open A. 1 on B. 2 on C. 4 on G. We're slurring this as well. 2 on F. Again, that wolf tone. It happens. It's okay. And then this last bit, the very last measure, I put a chord in so that it fully grounds us in C major. It's a good way to end. The way that we want to play this is by playing 2 strings and then 2 strings. So C, open C, and open G on the bottom are first. then we go over and play the open G string with finger 1 on E. And you can kind of just picture splitting the bow in half. So bottom 2 strings, top 2 strings. Like that. All right, let's go ahead and play the entire thing from the very top together. And I'm gonna try not to hit my mic with the bow. And if you hear a crunch, it's that F wolf tone, which is really irritating, but here we go. Like that. All right, let's go on to carol number 2, which is We Wish You a Merry Christmas. I put this one in G major because we're just adding 1 sharp. So G major has 1 sharp, F sharp. It's also a very easy key to play in. This is again in the time signature 3/4, so same exact thing as what we just did. Now, one thing that I probably should have mentioned earlier for the last one is the bowing directions. So if you see a little hat looking thing, that means down bow, which means that we are going this way with our bow. The frog is going to the right. Now, if you see a V above the note, like in this one, the very first note, that means that we're going this way with our bow. So the frog right here is going to the left. Now, very first note is open D. It's where the note head is right on the very middle line of the staff. So here is open D. I think this one has probably a few more jumps or leaps than the other one. The other one that we did is a little bit more scalar, or the notes move in a scale-like pattern, step by step instead of in leaps. So this one, right off, we have a, fairly big leap, right? We're going up by a 4th. So here's open D. Our next note is finger 4 on G, on the D string. So the note is G. The string that we're playing on is the D string. So open, finger 4. We repeat that note. Go over to open A. Go back. Now finger 3. This is F sharp. This is the finger that's different from the First Noel, where we would have used a finger 2 for F natural, but this is a sharp, F sharp, so finger 3. Now back down, we're in measure 2, finger 1 on E. We play E 3 times. So let's go over those notes again. Open D from the beginning. 4, 4, open, 4, 3, 1, 1, 1. Now we're gonna go over to open A again, 1, back down to A, over, 4, 3, F sharp, open D. So here's the first line, let's play it together. Now let's go on. This is measure 5. B, finger 1. This is a whole step above open A. 1 again. 2 on C natural, B, finger 1, open, 4 on the D string, 1 on the D string, open D, 1, open A, finger 3, finger 4. Let's go on to the next phrase. So let's start on the pickup to measure 9. This is open D, finger 4, G, finger 3 on F sharp, F sharp again, 4, 3, 1, open D. Now over, up a fifth to open A. 1, open, 4, go across, so here's finger 4 on the A string for D, down an octave, open D, finger 1 on E, open A, finger 3 on F sharp, 4 on G. Let's start pick up again to measure 9. So this is open D. And then I put a repeat sign right at the end because you can just shoot back up to the top. 1, 2. Okay, let's do it again, just a little bit faster now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. One thing I do want to point out, in measure 1, keep finger 4 down even when you go over to get that open A real quick. 4, leave 4 down, open A, come back. Because a lot of what makes professional players sound so good and why they can play really fast passages is because they're very efficient with their motion. So if I don't have to move my finger 4, let's not. Let's just leave it down. And that's one less thing that your hand has to do. All right, let's do the last one. And I'm hoping that my voice can hold out through this last one. One more. All right, away in a manger. This one is an F major. So again, I'm trying to keep things really simple. Instead of having 1 sharp, now we're going to the other side and just having 1 flat, which is B flat. So B flat does mean that we have to extend finger 1 backwards. So at the beginning, I talked about how B natural, right, where first position is a whole step above open A. Open A, B finger 1. B flat is a half step above open A, which means we just move our first finger back a half step. And then the other B flat is found on the G string, finger 2. There's our other one. And there are more, but they're way up there and we're not going to have to worry about those today. So, again, time signature is 3/4, trying to keep it easy. The first note is C, middle C, finger 2 on the A string. And I hope at this point you've seen that a lot of the rhythms are, they just keep kind of happening throughout the 3 of these carols. They're very simple, straightforward rhythms that you'll oftentimes find in 3/4. So I'm hoping that I didn't need to go into too much detail with that. maybe I'll try to do a brief discussion about that at the end of this video. All right, so first note, C, finger 2. Now, here's where extended first finger comes. So C, there's a whole step between 2 and 1. So here's B flat, here's open A again, here's finger 4, G, 2 on F, and there's that wolf tone scratching away as always. F again. We're slurring, which means 2 notes in the same bow direction, right? 2 on F, E, finger 1, open D, 4 on the G string, which is C. So here's from the beginning again. Like that. Now we have a quarter rest, so we pause. You can kind of readjust your bow if you feel like you're in the wrong spot. The next one, also an up bow. C. C again. Open D. Back to C. C again. Up a fifth. So again, we're doing this 4 across to 4 thing. So here's 4 on the G string, here's 4 on the D string. Measure 6. 4 on C, 4 on G, 1 on E, open D, slur again down to C, 2 on F, open A. All right, so let's go back it up. Let's start pick up to measure 5. Here's another quarter rest. Up bow again, finger 2 on C, just like how we started. Extend B flat, open A again. See how that was exactly like the beginning? Same notes. This is measure 12. Finger 4 on C, quarter rest, C. This is a pretty big jump, right? We're having to cross over a whole string. So here's 4 C on the G string. Now A string, finger 1 on B flat. Open A, 4 on G, back up to open A, 4 on G, 2 on F, 4 on G, open D, 1 on E, 2 on F. And again, you can repeat this as many times as you want. It's a strophic song, which means that all of the verses they follow the same melody. So you just keep repeating all the way through the song. All right, so let's play from the beginning together. Like that. So really quick, I do want to talk about some of the rhythms, which again, I didn't focus on that earlier in the video because I assume that all of you have heard these, so you probably already know how the rhythm is supposed to sound. But let's just take measure 1 as an example. And again, measure 1, when I say that, I mean the first full measure. So the first note of this carol is not measure 1. The first full measure is this right here, the C, B flat, A. That's where I am. So as you can see, there is a quarter note with a little dot right next to it. What the dot does is it takes half of that value and adds it to the original value, right? So half of a quarter note is an eighth note. So that dot represents an eighth note being added to the quarter note. So that, what you're seeing, the note head with the dot, equals a quarter note and an eighth note. And we call that a dotted quarter note. I hope that makes sense. It's basically taking a 1 times 1.5. That's all it is. After that, it's followed by another eighth note, and then that is followed by another quarter note. So if you take the dot and the following eighth note and put those two together, eighth and eighth, that equals a quarter note. So you have your first quarter note, dot, eighth note, second quarter note, and then your third quarter note at the end. So that's how you meet your necessary value count for the measure, right? Because you have to have 3 quarters worth in a measure. So you have quarter, quarter, quarter. Now the way that we count that, so we have 1 on the very first note, right? That's beat 1. And then the dot is technically where we start beat 2, but it's only half of a beat, right? Because it just represents an eighth note. So the following eighth note completes that beat 2, and it's on a te. So 1, 2 is quiet because it's inside of that first note. 1, te, and then the last quarter note of the measure is beat 3. So 1, te, 3. And if I were to conduct it, so here's beat 1, here's beat 2, and beat 3. 1, te, 3. Which, whenever we play it, that's what it sounds like. 1, te, 3. I hope that makes sense. Let's see, the last thing that I wanted to tell you is that the sheet music for these 3 carols for beginner cellists, I put them up on Patreon, so if you would like to download those, go ahead and go over there to search Sarah Joy on Patreon, and of course I'll have the link to that in the video description below. All right, I did it, I got through it, yay! If you have any questions, please put those in the comment section below. I hope I didn't go too fast. I'm just counting on the fact that you can jump back, pause the video, go back again, and rewatch multiple times so that you can really get it. But again, if you have any questions, let me know. Go check out my Patreon for the sheet music, and be sure to check out Tom Play. I think it'll really help you out. Thank you for watching this video, and again, Merry Christmas.